Ever wonder what advice your 80-year-old self would give you right now? Imagine having that kind of foresight, the ability to see which decisions truly matter in the long run. Today, we're going to explore exactly that. 10 pieces of profound wisdom that most people only discover when it's too late to fully benefit from them. Have you ever noticed how the elderly rarely regret the things they did, but almost always regret the things they didn't do? Let's dive into what they wish they'd known sooner. Relationships are your greatest treasure. Invest in them accordingly. The single most common regret of the dying isn't about career achievements or wealth. It's about not spending enough time with the people they loved. Think about that. While we're busy chasing promotions and possessions, what actually brings lasting joy are meaningful connections. I recently spoke with a successful businessman who admitted he'd trade his entire fortune just to have spent more time with his children when they were young. Ask yourself, who deserves more of your attention right now? But I know what some of you are thinking. I'm too busy building my foundation. The truth is, relationships are the foundation. Everything else is just decoration. Time isn't just money. It's the only currency that matters. Here's a sobering thought. At age 20, you have roughly 4,000 weekends left in your life. By 40, it's down to about 2,000. We think we have all the time in the world, but we don't. How we spend our hours ultimately becomes how we spend our lives. Yet we waste so much time on things that won't matter in 5 years, or even 5 days. Scrolling mindlessly, worrying about what strangers think, holding grudges. Remember this. When you're 80, you won't wish you'd spent more time at the office or on social media. You'll wish you'd had more adventures, more deep conversations, more moments of genuine connection. Your biggest failures often lead to your greatest growth. Isn't it interesting how the moments we initially see as devastating often become turning points that lead to something better? That rejection from your dream school, the relationship that fell apart, the job you didn't get. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before creating a working light bulb. When asked about it, he famously said he hadn't failed. He'd found thousands of ways that wouldn't work. What perceived failure in your life might actually be redirecting you towards something better. The obstacle is often the way. Health isn't everything, but without it, everything else is nothing. You're probably rolling your eyes right now. Health advice is so boring, right? But here's what they don't tell you. Health isn't just about living longer. It's about the quality of those years. That daily exercise habit isn't just about looking good now. It's an investment in your future mobility. Those vegetables you eat today might prevent cognitive decline 40 years from now. That stress management practice could save you from burnout next year. Your future self is begging you to protect your health now, while it's still easy to do so. Trust me, it's much harder to rebuild health than to maintain it. Chase purpose, not just paychecks. There's a profound difference between making a living and making a life. When researchers interviewed people in their final years, virtually none of them wish they'd worked more hours or earned more money. Instead, they wish they'd had the courage to live a life true to themselves, not what others expected of them. They wish they'd spent more time doing work that mattered. What would you do if money wasn't a concern? That answer contains important clues about what will truly fulfill you. Comfort zones make comfortable prisons. Growth happens at the edge of your comfort zone, not within it. Every significant achievement in your life has likely come after facing something that initially scared you. Think about it. Your first date, your first job interview, your first time speaking in public. Terrifying at first, but ultimately rewarding. What opportunity are you avoiding right now because it feels uncomfortable? That's probably exactly what you should be doing. Master the art of listening, not just speaking. We're taught how to speak persuasively, but rarely how to listen deeply. Yet it's listening that builds the strongest relationships and leads to the most profound insights. True listening, where you're fully present, not just waiting for your turn to talk, is increasingly rare and incredibly valuable. It's how you build trust, gain wisdom, and truly understand others. Next time you're in conversation, notice how often you're planning your response instead of truly hearing what's being said. The difference is transformative. What others think of you is none of your business. Imagine how much mental energy you'd save if you stopped worrying about others' opinions. The brutal truth is that most people are too concerned with their own lives to spend much time judging yours anyway. Those who matter don't mind, and those who mind don't matter. Living authentically means making choices based on your values, not external validation. What decision have you been postponing because you're afraid of what others might think? That hesitation is costing you your authentic life. Joy lives in the ordinary moments, not just the extraordinary ones. We chase peak experiences, vacations, achievements, milestones, but true happiness often lives in the spaces between. The morning coffee, the walk in nature, the laughter with friends. Studies consistently show that people who practice gratitude for small, everyday pleasures report higher life satisfaction than those constantly chasing bigger thrills. What ordinary pleasure did you overlook today? That's where sustainable happiness lives. Never stop learning. Curiosity keeps you young. Your formal education may end, but your learning never should. Our brains are designed to grow throughout our lives. They just need the right stimulation. People who maintain curiosity into old age show lower rates of cognitive decline and report higher life satisfaction. Learning new skills, whether languages, instruments, or crafts, creates neural pathways that keep your mind sharp. What have you been curious about but haven't explored? That might be your next adventure. The most painful regrets aren't about mistakes we made, but about chances we never took, about words left unsaid, about dreams we postponed until someday, which often never arrives. So let me ask you, if your 80-year-old self could see you now, what one change would they beg you to make today? Share your answer in the comments, and let's learn from each other's wisdom. Because the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now.